Yo, yo, yo. What's good, everyone? And hope everyone's doing good. Hope you've had a good morning thus far. Hope you've got your coffee. You're ready for the day. And I appreciate you tuning in to Divine Sense Boxing. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Where do I begin? You guys see the title of the live stream. You see the thumbnail. So you know what's about to go down. So buckle your seatbelts. Make sure you're nice and comfy because I'm about to get lit. I kept myself reserved last night when I went live, gave my live commentary of the fight. And by the way, everybody who joined, I appreciate you. Hell of a fight. Absolute hell of a fight. I got a lot of positive feedback from that commentary. A lot of people weren't able to watch that live, so they rely on my commentary, and that means a lot to me. As a matter of fact, at the heat of the moment, I mean, at the pinnacle of that fight, we got up to 450 people in here, man. That speaks volumes. And like I said, I can't do it without you guys, the ones who hit the like button to let the people know that we're in here doing this, man. When it came to the post-fight interview, I stayed reserved because I made a mental note. And yes, I'm talking about Teofimo's antics and the things that he was saying after the fight. But I made a mental note to myself, don't get riled up right now. Save it for later. So that's why I'm on here right now, about to release and unleash that fire on Teofimo Lopez. Okay? And I've seen Twitter and Facebook and all these other places blowing up. And so I got to do my due diligence. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the first man in the building, Duke Todd. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Moped in the building. Always good to see you. I appreciate you letting the people know. Hit that like button. Ra Da the Prophet B1. Blessings to you. I appreciate you. Andrew Charles. Nate in the building. SM. Official member of the channel. He stays an official member of the channel. I appreciate you. We got Terry Smoot Jr. Don't get me started, Terry. Don't get me started. Deontay in the building. It's been a while. It's good to see you. Joe, somebody who has been putting a lot of comments on a lot of my videos. I appreciate your time and dedication. Trick Boxing also in the building. Shout out to my man Trick. boxing. He did call this one. Also, another guy, DJ Zion Love, he also called this. Raw Dog the Prophet B1 with that super chat. Peace and blessings. I appreciate that super chat. You have no idea how far these super chats go, man. Means a lot. The expert genius. Teofimo, no! Theo and Figueroa hold that same shit last night. For real. For real, though. Both of them on that bullshit. Both of them. Both of them. Not a good look. Not a good look. I'm going to keep that one on the freezer, though, as in Figueroa. I'll hit that up later because I have to rewatch that fight. I only seen about 4 or 5 rounds. I was exhausted after doing the commentary of the Lopez and Cambosa's fight, man. I put a lot of energy in that shit, man. A lot of energy. So I have to kind of soak and take my little, give my voice a little bit of an ice bath, man. I was hooting and hollering on here, screaming on the mic. It was nice, though. It was nice to have over 400 people in here chopping it up. Don Vaughn in the building with that super chat, man. Much love and appreciation, as always. Don, another ardent and loyal subscriber and supporter of Divine Sense Boxing, man. I appreciate you. Hammer Time in the building. Yave, what's good? K-Rod in the building. I just heard you chopping it up with Cano Loco. I heard him chopping up about this fight, man. He made a lot of good points in his live. So, now that I've given the shout out, Kaz, I see you, bro. I see you. My man Kaz, he was in the live stream last night. I believe, Yave, let the people know how the commentary was last night, man. I know you were unable to watch it live, so you're relying on my commentary. Let them know how it was and if you enjoyed it or not. And if this is something that people continue to enjoy, then I'm going to make sure I go live every single big fight, at least every single big fight. But let me get into the topic of the morning, afternoon, depending on where you are, stateside. It's 10 o'clock at night for me, so it don't really make no difference. But like I said, man, you guys see the title of the live. Shout out to Boxing Ego. Boxing Ego caught my eye. It caught my attention. He made a post about how Teofimo Lopez, if you guys remember, he said, and I quote, in believe it's a Twitter or Instagram post, it don't matter. He posted the shit. I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, Deontay Wilder needs to stop being a bitch and stop making excuses. Y'all remember that, right? Yeah, from Teofimo Lopez. That's what he said. And all of us Deontay Wilder fans, you know, we our backs up against the wall. Teofimo, he's coming off a big victory against Lomachenko. He's got all the belts draped over his shoulders. He can say whatever he wants to say, right? He can get away with anything. Basically. And he's out there taking shots against the heavyweight champ. The heavyweight champion. Let's not forget, right? This is what we do. We keep those receipts. And that's what I'm saying. Shout out to Boxing Eagle, because I don't have the time and patience to rummage through Twitter and Instagram like Boxing Eagle and BFTB and Blue Blood and all these guys. I mean, they do this shit like real time. For me, this is a hobby. So shout out to them because they caught my attention. And I'm like, bet. So then I'm thinking to myself, I remember the moment during the post-fight interview where Teofimo was on that bullshit, right? And I made a mental note to myself, all right, I'm not going to comment on it too much now. I'm going to wait till later. So I was already planning this live in my head. I'm like, I'm about to go live tomorrow. Tonight for me. And along the way, I see this post by Boxing Ego. And it put even more fuel in the fire because I was like, yeah, he did say that shit about Wilder. He said, stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses. Let me tell you guys something, man. Let me tell you guys something. You guys know why Teofimo Lopez lost this fight? I want you guys to think about this for a second, man. Think about it. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 2. Right? We all remember what happened. We remember all the chaos. Right? We remember the dust storm after the fight and all the things that were said for months afterwards, right? We remember it all. But let's just hone in on the fight. One would say, a lot of people would say, not just one actually. I was trying to be nice and humble and say by one, but actually a lot of people, boxing experts, journalists, media, the list goes on. You guys know who I'm talking about. Talking about Wilder. They're writing all their columns and their articles online saying, this is before the quote unquote excuses, right? This is before all that. This is like the day after the fight. Before even the whole costume thing came out. Even before that. They came out and said, Deontay Wilder lost this fight because he thought he can come in there and knock out Fury. He thought that he can knock out Fury easy, and Fury walked him down and beat him up. Right? That's what everybody was saying. What happened last night? What happened last night? Teofimo Lopez himself thought that he could knock Kambosos Jr. out. He came out in the first round like a banshee. Came out full speed ahead, full throttle. Like he's like, man, I ain't even trying to be here all night. I got an after party to go to. I got bitches waiting for me. My chauffeur is waiting in the locker room. I got shit to do. This guy ain't nothing. He's just another speed bump. Right? That's what he thought. But guess what? He wasn't just a speed bump. Kambosos was a roadblock. A straight up blockade. He said, hope you laced your boots up nice and tight. Because we're going to fight tonight. So the same man who's saying stop being a bitch, making excuses, right? Everybody was saying Deontay Wilder made the big mistake by trying to go out there and knock out Fury. He got too confident. Ego was too big, this, that, and whatever. Hear me loud and clear. Karma is a bitch, y'all. Karma is a bitch. What goes around, comes around. Shout out to my man, Alfred. It's been a while, bro, but it's always good to see you in the chat, man. He says, salute Divine Sense. Kambosos walked into NYC like he was Debo. Dale dropped the soap in round 1. Then Kambosos turned into Felice Johnson and snatched his belts. I picked Kambosos because of press conferences. Dale wasn't focused, and Dale who the bitch now? Who's the bitch now? I know a lot of people who made crazy money on this fight. Crazy money. C. Wood in the building says, salute Divine. I'm happy, man, this morning in NY. Even though I almost got beat down by Hooter and crowd last night in Madison Square Garden. Damn, bro. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. I know a lot of people were screaming robbery and all this crazy shit, man. I'm going to get into that in a second. I'm going to get into the whole decision and the scorecards and all that. Bear with me because I want to share something with you guys real quick. Just because, just in case there's some people, in the background. You know how these guys be looking online when Divine Sense Boxing goes online, or when I go live, they be sitting at home like this. That's what they be doing. They can't comment because they know they'll get booted the hell up out of here. They're looking like that and hit the dislike button. Because everything I say is a lie, and everything you're feeding into this and that and whatever. So I'm going to share this article. Oh, yeah, I found it. I had to go back and find it, but it's right here. Check it. Right there. And they're out here taking shots at the U.S. Sun. They taking shots at Deontay too, saying, Deontay, try it, or don't try it, or they're trying to use some weird ass like, Deontay, try it. Teofimo Lopez tells Deontay Wilder to stop being a bitch after making number of wild excuses for Tyson Fury defeat. It's right here. Whole article is right here. All right? Yeah. So we all remember that. I found the article. It's right there. Now, I don't know if his poster's still up. But it's right here. He can't hide from it. Volt UK, what's good, bro? Thanks for dropping by. Lusario, what's up, bro? I'm going to do that. I'm just getting through this right quick, man. This is what people tuned in for, and I'm going to hit it up. And then I'll talk about the scorecards, and I'll talk about the decision. I'll give you guys some post-fight thoughts. But I want to show you guys this, right? We all see the article about him calling out Wilder. And some of you guys may think, well, what does this have to do with Wilder? Because he's a hypocrite. That's why. And for all of these content creators out here who spent months after months after months after months beating down, ripping Wilder to shreds about excuses. Are you going to call your boy out right here, right? This dude right here, Teofimo Lopez, are you going to call him out for making excuses? I mean, after the second fight, Deontay actually, check this out. Deontay Wilder had to go back home after taking this defeat, after losing his belts and all that shit. He had to go back home and he had to soak into his loss, and then all of a sudden, he started getting information, right? As a matter of fact, at the end of the second fight, after losing in that fight, before any allegations or any of that shit, he shook Fury's hand and he left the ring. He didn't make any excuses in the post-fight interview. He said something about Breedland stopping the fight, but that was it. He didn't say, oh, I won the fight, or the referee shouldn't have stopped it, or whatever the case is, right? It took weeks. Teofimo gets dropped in the fight. He's in a dog fight. It could be a close fight, I guess, for some people, but you've taken punishment. Your eyes busted, your face is all swollen up. You've been getting hit with right hands, looping right hands all night, and then you come out and say, "I think I won the fight." Not, "Hey, I think it was a close fight and I won." He said, "I won 10-2. 10-2, he said. So if anybody's wondering, Divine, like, what does this comment have to do with him, making excuses? Because he's a hypocrite. And hypocrisy is a broad umbrella. If you're going to come over here and attack other channels out here, Like, hey, Divine, are you gonna call an ace and a spade a spade? I know you're a fan of Wilder, but are you not gonna allow this? Okay, well, guess what? I'm gonna be peeking through the blinds to see if you're gonna hold that same standard for your boy Teofimo Lopez. I'm gonna be checking you. I promise you that. I promise you that. Now, Alfred, there's another super chat. He says, split mouth Teo got his face split. Humble yourself. Cambosa said what he was going to do, and he did it. I'm roasting Theo for life. Alfred said, I'm roasting him for life. My man in here with that super chat again. Yo, here's the crazy thing. I picked Teofimo to win this fight. But what did I tell you guys? See, this is the crazy thing. A lot of times when I predict fights, I usually predict and then I have a personal favorite, right? Because for me, boxing in itself is not personal. Like I don't have like I don't bet money on emotion. I bet money on the way I see a fight, and I look at the odds, I look at the possibilities, and then I'm like, yeah, I like this guy better. For example, I picked Canelo, but I was rooting for Plant. Okay? In this fight, I didn't care who won, really. I don't really watch 135 that much. Like I know who the top guys are, but I'm not invested. I'm invested more in the welters and the middleweights and the heavyweights. That's usually my favorite weight classes, right? So I'm like, I don't really care who wins. So looking at it from a boxing lens and looking at the odds, I'm like, Teofimo Lopez should win this fight, right? We saw what he did to Lomachenko, and he's got the power and et cetera, et cetera. But because I had no emotional investment or I didn't have a dog in this fight at all, period, I made my prediction, but I told people, yo, Cambosis, right? If you think this guy's coming in for a payday, you're wrong. I told you that, number one. Number two, I said, check this. If Cambosis can take Teofimo's power, Teofimo's going to be in for a long-ass night. And that's exactly what happened. If he can't hurt Cambosis is going to fight. And he's coming. And whoever was saying in the chat earlier, I saw your comment. I apologize. I don't remember who it was. He said, I was paying attention to the press conferences. And I started seeing that as well. Where George Cambosis says, look, I'm coming at you. You're going to have to stop me because I'm not going to quit. I am not going to quit. You're going to have to put me down for good. And soon as that first round happened, Teofimo come running out like a madman. Every single punch he threw for the first minute of that round, he was trying to knock out Cambosis. And what did Cambosis do? What did he do? He tied him up. He tied him up, y'all. He tied him up. Boxing IQ. Okay? I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But I do want to share something else with you. Alfred in there again saying split mouth Lopez got his eyes split. This man going crazy in here. Hey, somebody tell Alfred he's going crazy. I gave Teo 2 rounds at best. I'll let you know what my scorecards were here just in a second. If you weren't able to watch my live commentary. Chavo saying the hashtag fake over. Yeah. Let's get those likes all the way up, man. Shout out to Jay Gibson, man, for letting the people know we got to get the likes up. We got 60 people in here. How do we not have 60 likes? That don't even make no damn sense. That means we got lurkers. That's the only thing that tells me is we got lurkers. So what I'm going to do is I know there's a lot of people in the chat right now that want to hear more in depth my post-fight thoughts about the fight itself. not everybody was able to listen to my live commentary. But I have to drill this home. I have to drill this home because I could have just said, "Oh, post-fight thoughts," and just left it at that. But I want to stay according to the title of the live stream. But if y'all are patient enough, I'll get through this, and then I'll give you guys more of my in-depth thoughts. I have my scorecard over there. I got to grab it. It's a couple feet away on the table there. I'll bring it over here and let you guys know how I scored it. But like I said, I commentated on this shit live. Okay? And if you guys tuned in, you guys know how I was getting down. El Chubby, what's good, bro? All right, so y'all check out this video. This is the post-fight interview. I was completely gobsmacked. You know what, man? I wasn't prepared for this at all. I'm thinking to myself, good fight. I would see that Teofimo might be disappointed in himself. What champion wouldn't be, right? But for him to say the shit that he said that I'm about to play right here, I was completely gobsmacked. I was like, is this dude for real right now? Did he get punched too hard in the head? What's this guy talking about? And thank Zeus Almighty, his dad didn't come and try to take the mic, because I'm telling you, if he did, George's dad would probably knock his ass out. So I'm thankful that his dad didn't come over there. But let's listen in, man, to what this guy said. Alfred in there again saying, smash that like button. Like Dio got smashed last night. Oh, my man's wilding out here. Damn. All right, let's play this, and I'll give you guys my commentary / thoughts on this little post-fight interview.
To him. He's a great champion. He beat the great Vasily Lomachenko, but I'm the better fighter, and I told you I'll be better every step of the way.
Is this, in your mind, the biggest win in Australian boxing history?
Look at me. I'm the greatest fighter in Australian history, and that's not disrespect. I got all the belts. Hey, listen.
Fighter in history.
Listen.
Yo, George straight up took all the belts, y'all. George came in there and took all of the belts. Hey, so y'all pay attention. What Teofimo Lopez is about to say in this interview, and I want you guys to refer back to when he called Wilder. Hey, he called him a bitch. Let's not mince words here. He didn't say, "Oh, stop making excuses." He said, "Stop making excuses like a bitch." That's what this guy, 135 pounder said about the heavyweight champ. And everybody was like, everybody was cringing and was like, "Oh, okay." But nobody said nothing because Wilder took an L and all of the Wilder fans' backs are against the wall. But guess what? We're back now. Oh, wait, we back. Yeah, we back now. Because what goes around comes around, and karma is, you know. But let's listen in. What does the man got to say after this loss?
True champ. Forget the rest. Yo. You got hell of a fighter, but I won tonight, man. And everybody know that. The referee raised my hand. I won tonight. I don't care what anybody says, yo. I won tonight. Hey, at the end of the day, I've been here. I've done that. I won.
Look at this guy's eye. Look at this guy's eye. This guy up there, his whole left eye is swollen shut. Big ass gash. And yo, this is not a headbutt. This is not a headbutt. This is from an accumulation of looping right hands that he kept absorbing the entire fight. Whole left eye shut, bleeding, Vaseline all up in it. And he comes up there and says, and he interrupts a man's interview. It's a man's moment, right? Nobody came in and interrupted you when you were doing backflips and shit after you beat Lomachenko. Nobody got in your way. Lomachenko didn't come and take the mic away and say, "Oh, I thought I won the fight and this is BS," whatever. What did Lomachenko do? Lomo came over and said, "Shit, man, it is what it is." And I lost the fights, and hopefully we can get a rematch. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. But instead, you want to come over there and grab the mic from the man and during his moment and say, oh, I thought I won the fight, etc., etc. Alfred says, Kambosos is Theo's new daddy. That's why Senior is quiet. So, because I just mentioned that I was so happy that Senior didn't come and grab the mic too. Because I was cringing. I was holding on to my table like, oh, where's Senior at? Where's Lopez Senior at? Oh, my God, please don't let him grab the mic right now because you know he's lit. You know he was lit. But look at this guy. Look at this guy's face. Let's see what he says, man.
I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. Look, I ain't no sore loser. I take my wins like I take my losses.
I'm no sore loser. I take my wins like I take my losses.
At the end of the day, man, I'm a true champion. I came out here, I did what I had to do, and I went out there and I did my best. Yo, I don't care what anybody says.
Okay, you did your best, and you lost.
I am as real as they come. And watch, this is the takeover, man.
And that and this wound is leaking. He is leaking. Did y'all watch the fight? His shit was leaking like a faucet. And that's from punches.
Stop. We keep coming. Yo, at the end of the day, man, I love you all. I won this fight.
Teofimo, you believe coming in that you were going to be able to end this fight early. You get knocked down in the first round. What was your mindset going?
Oh, you know that's the Italian, not the Italians, the Australians in the crowd booing
back
his
to the
ass.
corner?
It's good. Good shot. All right. Time to wake up. Time to do the thing what I got to do. After that, man, it is what it is. It's boxing. But you know what, man? I know what it is. I know how these people work. Referee knew I won tonight. Everybody knew I won tonight.
Let me address that. So he was saying that the referee raised his hand. He said even the referee knew that I was winning the fight, right? The referee actually, he made a mistake because the ring announcer, when he was calling the winner after they called the scorecards, and he said, still undefeated, the referee forgot that Kambosos was undefeated too. He forgot. So he was a bit premature and grabbed Teofimo's hands first, right? So guess what? Teofimo gets stuck in his feelings. Straight up. He got his feelings hurt. He got his hand raised, but then he ultimately wasn't called the winner. So I just want to point that out. If you guys didn't catch that. The ref did raise his hand because right after the ring announcer said, still undefeated, right? And then after that he says, and the new. So he got caught up in his feelings. He got a little feelings hurt. And then he come over there, oh, the referee thought I won the fight, and I know how these people work, and he's trying to, like, call out the judges. I mean, damn. Is this a Michael Fox fight? Is this a Charlo and Castaño fight? When we got some crazy-ass scorecards?
And I'm just thankful.
Coming in that you were going to be able to end this fight early. You get knocked down in the first round. What was your mindset?
Them ads be killing me, man.
Going back to the corner.
It's good. Good shot. All right. Time to wake up. Time to do the thing what I got to do. After that, man, it is what it is. It's boxing. But you know what, man? I know what it is. I know how these people work. Referee knew I won tonight. Everybody knew I won tonight. And I'm just thankful.
Did you believe this was a close fight going into those last two rounds?
No, I don't. I don't believe it was a close fight at all. I believe that
What?
at the end of it all, I scored 11-2.
11-2.
2.
This motherfucker said 11-2. He straight up said 11-2.
Believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds.
Yes, I did.
George?
Listen, you got to move up, bro, because you're a bit delusional, brother. All right? Listen, I got the belts. I won the fight. I want to clean and clear. Look at your face. But you know what? I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the respect in the ring, and I won the fight. I got the belts. Take it like a champ. Move on. We do it again in Australia. 80,000 people. Me and you, brother. What a war we'll have in Australia. Let's do it again.
Teofimo just doing it again in Australia. Appealed.
And you know, Kambosos is so nice. This guy literally said it wasn't a close fight. I think I won the fight 11-2. Oh, sorry. I meant 10-2. Sorry about that. And Kambosos is just like, yo, I just think you're a little bit delusional, bro. But hey, no problem, man. We can run it back. Kambosos is so nice. If that was me, I would have been like, man, get your shit out of here, bro. This is my moment. Get this bullshit out of here. This is my moment. What are you doing, man? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And it's not much different in comparison to the Figueroa and Fulton fight. Figueroa did the same thing. I thought I won the fight, and I was pressuring and this and that. And Fulton's like, come on, man. But in my opinion, this is even worse. This is even worse. This guy standing up here, leaking, busted open, and talking about he thought he won 11 rounds to 2. Yeah, he said 11 rounds to 2. I didn't make a mistake. He said, and then he corrected himself. Oh, I sorry, I meant 10 rounds to 2. Blue belt in the building. What's good, man? Jerome, I see you in there. Black Superman, I see you, bro. Thanks for dropping by. But for real, though, Kambosos is so nice. So nice. If that was me, there's no way nobody's coming in there trying to take my moment. You want to come and shake my hand and say, hey, man, great fight. Can we run it back? Da-da-da-da-da. Cool. Now, Kambosos says, yo, we can run it back. We can go to Australia because I'm the champ now. He has that right. Yeah, we go back to Australia and my crowd because I came here. I came to your side. You were the champ. I came here. Now you come to see me. You want these belts? You come to see me. Or you can move up. That's what he said. And now watch and listen to, again, these excuses. The same man who called Wilder a bitch. He said Wilder needs to stop making excuses like a bitch. This whole post-fight interview is excuses. And it doesn't stop. Not only does he think he won the fight, but the excuses don't stop.
I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the respect in the ring, and I won the fight. I got the belts. Take it like a champ. Move on. We do it again in Australia. 80,000 people. Me and you, brother. What a war we'll have in Australia. Let's do it again.
Teofimo just doing it again in Australia. Appeal to you.
Right now, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna spend time with my son. I haven't spent time with my boy in a long time. I mean, he was just born 11 days ago, and that's really what matters to me.
Well, it basically means no. No disrespect to his son. He wants to spend time with his family. He mentioned his son in particular. No disrespect, but basically to me, that's a no. Yeah, I said, yo, you want to come grab these belts? You can come to Australia. That's simple. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, and by the way, before I do that though, however, I would like to spend time with my son. See, that's how you do it. But he don't want to go to Australia. He don't want to go to Australia. He don't want to have to fight this dude again. This guy thought that he can get a quick one, get a big knockout, defend the titles, wait to see what Devin Haney does, and then he'll try to make his decision on whether he's going to fight Devin Haney or go up to 140 because he's struggling to make weight at 135. That's what his plan was. But now that he lost, he don't got a plan no more. His plan is all busted up. He don't know what he's going to do. So he's sitting there thinking, oh, man, shit, man, I don't know if I'm going to stay here. I don't want to go to Australia. I don't want to deal with this guy again in Australia. But at the same time, I'm up here busted up. Do I really want to face off Haney? I don't even know. I mean, this dude, honestly has no clue on what he wants to do. We got over 200 people in the live right now. How we don't have at least 100 likes, I don't know. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. Subscribe, stay a part of the conversation. Hit that like button. It is free. I'm giving just authentic, raw, uncut commentary here. And if you're interested on why the title, well, it's simple. This man right here with the busted eye, he said, after the Wilder Fury second fight, I'm just refreshing people's memory who's probably in this live right now, not clicking the damn like button because they want to be a hater. I'm refreshing your memory and letting you know that this is the man right here who said Wilder needs to stop being a bitch. That's what he said. Now, you can say, yeah, Wilder was making excuses. Or, yeah, I think Wilder was a bitch. That's your prerogative. But if you're going to say that, then you got to hold this man to the same standard. If you think that Wilder was making excuses and he was being a bitch and Teofimo had the rights to say it, and you feel like at the champion, he was a champion at that time, and that's the way he felt, he can say it, fine. But, like I said, set that same standard for everybody across the board. And that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm waiting for. And I'm not trying to, listen, I'm not trying, Brown on Boxing, what's good? The real Ricky Tan, what's good, man? Good to see you. Jeffrey H. Lopez in the building. Thank you, Jeffrey. Hit that like button, as I was saying. So look, I'm not trying to rub this loss into Teofimo Lopez's fans' face. I'm not. I'm really not. But Theo did this shit to himself. He did it to himself. What's up, William Beecham? Right here. My man Willie said it right here. Theo played himself. It's not Divine Sense Boxing coming on here and saying, ha ha, nana nana boo boo, your man got beat and all this silly ass kid shit. No. If he would have came up there and said, man, hell of a fight, bro, like, hopefully we can run it back. Or he doesn't even have to say that. Shake the man's hand. Great fight. I respect you. Cool. And then you say, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to go for the rematch or if I'm going to go to 140. I'm going to wait for Devin Haney. I don't know yet. My eye's busted. My face is swollen. It's been a long-ass night. I want to go into the ice bath, and I want to think about what I'm doing with my life. And I would have been like, cool, respect. Saludos. That's it. That's what I would have said. But he coming up in here, and he said, I thought I was winning the fight 11-2. And do you know why he said 11-2? Do you know why? Because in his head, he was probably thinking, oh, I got dropped in the first round, so it's a 10-8 round. So he got his math all messed up. So he was thinking, oh, he won 2. So he really only thinks he lost 1 round, which is that first round. Right? But this is what I want to remind people of. This guy, I can't give him all the blame. He's a man. He's responsible for what comes out of his mouth. Like tweeting or putting an Instagram post and saying, Wilder needs to stop being a bitch and stop making excuses. Right? So he's responsible for that. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy Teofimo Lopez, man. Hey, ¿qué pasó, cabrones? Yeah, that's my boy talking shit about Deontay. Deontay ain't shit. I remember you guys. Ooh, do I remember you. Oh, I got a memory like a fox. And I'm cunning like a fox too. I remember it. Yeah, that's my homie, Teofimo Lopez. Yeah. Wilder ain't shit. Yep. So he's responsible for everything that comes out of his mouth. And everybody's like, yeah, cool, cool, cool. And all of a sudden, what goes around comes around. Uh-huh. That's right. I'm jogging. That's right. I'm jogging. And what goes around comes around. Talking all that shit. You go out there and underestimate You underestimated Kambosos. You believed in your power. You thought your power would carry the day. The same type of criticism that Wilder was getting against Fury. Oh, he thought that his power would carry the day. So y'all gonna toot that same horn? Right? I'm waiting. I haven't seen a lot of post-fight videos yet. Maybe it'll come later. I don't know. Time zone difference. But when Wilder lost to Fury, y'all are up here going havoc within minutes after the fight. And every time Wilder made an excuse, you were on here minutes after the fight or after the excuses were being made. Now, Teofimo Lopez gets smacked and I hear crickets. I got a real question for you. Check this out. Imagine if there's going to be a day where Canelo Alvarez meets a guy like Kambosos. Now, put your thinking cap on for a moment. And imagine this. Stormy B-Man in the building dropping his custom emojis. So think about this. Imagine Canelo matching up against somebody like Kambosos. I don't care where it is. 168, 175, shit. I heard he's going up there to fight Fury. That's the last thing I heard. He's going all the way to heavyweight. He's going to fight a 270-pound man. 100-pound weight difference. What will people say? Or sorry. Well, what will the people say and what will Canelo say post-fight? What do you think Canelo will say post-fight? If he gets dropped and gets his eye busted up. We want the smoke. Up in that super chat, and he says, it's your boy, Don Shota. Okay, Don Shota, what's good, bro? Got a new name. Started a boxing channel and showing love to a YouTube boxing GOAT. I appreciate you, man. I respect that immensely. And, yo, if this guy's got a new channel, make sure you guys drop by. This is Don Shota. You guys seen him in the chat before. He's got a new channel. I'm guessing the name is We Want the Smoke. Go check him out, man. Subscribe to his channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed to my man Stormy B, man, make sure you guys do that as well. He says, anybody but Benavidez. I'm not. I made a little remark about Canelo, and I'm just going to leave it right there for you all. Just think about that. Nobody expected this, or at least I didn't. I didn't expect this type of reaction from Teofimo Lopez. I really didn't. I won 11 rounds to 2. I thought I won the fight. It wasn't a close fight, etc., etc., etc. I didn't expect that. I don't think anybody would expect Canelo to say the things that he could possibly say if he has a fight similar to what Teofimo just had. But look at this. This guy right here. He said it wasn't a close fight at all.
You believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds.
Yes, I did.
George?
Listen, you got to move up, bro, because
knew I won tonight, and I'm just thankful.
Did you believe this was a close fight going into those last 2 rounds?
No, I don't. I don't believe it was a close fight at all. I believe that at the end of it all, I scored 11-2. Well, 10-2.
You believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds.
Yes, I did.
George?
listen, you got to move up, bro, because you're a bit delusional, brother. All right? Listen, I got the belts. I won the fight. I want to clean and clear. Look at your face. But you know what? I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the respect in the ring, and I won the fight. I got the belts. Take it like a champ. Move on. We do it again in Australia. 80,000 people. Me and you, brother. What a war we'll have in Australia. Let's do it again.
Teofimo, does doing it again in Australia appeal to you?
Right now, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna spend time with my son.
He was out there laughing and
spend time with my
giggling.
boy in a long time. I mean, he was just born 11 days ago, and that's really what matters to me. Family, man. Hey, to everybody, I apologize in advance, man. To all those, I wanted to be the inspiration for all of them, for the new generation, and I still am, man. Everything happens for its reasons. I believe in God, man. I have faith in him. I ain't scared about this, and I ain't sad about this.
Teofimo, you have nothing to apologize for. That was a tremendous fight, one way or the other. But do you feel this should be your last fight at 135?
I've been feeling this for 2 years now, man. They've been draining me the whole time, man.
Oh,
It
God.
is what
Here
it
we
is.
go.
Like, I stood here when I should have just dropped.
Now, I got a question. Let's listen to that one more time. He asked him if he's going to stay at 135. Listen closely.
Nothing to apologize for. That was a tremendous fight, one way or the other. But do you feel this should be your last fight at 135?
I've been feeling this for 2 years now, man. They've been draining me the whole time, man.
What does that mean? They've been draining me. Well, who's they? Who's they? They've been draining me? Oh, your managers, your promoters, your dad? What are you talking about? They've been draining me. See, this goes back to a fact and a point that Stormy B-Man makes a lot. Now, I'm going to piggyback off of that out of respect to the sensei. It's like going back to the conversation of Bud Crawford. Me and Stormy were talking about this behind the scenes, where Bud Crawford beats Benavidez, right? And everybody that was going against Bud, especially leading up to the Porter fight, was saying, you can't count that fight. The dude got shot in the leg, this, that, or whatever. To which Stormy B-Man said, well, why the hell did he get in the ring then? Why the hell did he get in the ring then? If his leg's busted up and it's a problem. Nobody forces these fighters to go and step in between those ropes and wait for that bell to ring. So you out here talking about 135, I'm out here weight draining, I'm dying out here. His voice is like, I'm dying out here, man. Y'all been weight draining me. Then what are you doing? What are you doing fighting then? What are you doing in the ring, bro? Yo, because you thought Kambosos was going to be an easy fight. That's what you thought, man. That's what you thought. Let's be real. Teofimo, man, don't do this, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because you thought that this was going to be an easy fight. That's what you thought. And guess what? Kambosos brought the spear of Achilles and the thunderbolt of Zeus and the fucking pitchfork of Hades and everything into that ring with him. Ferocious Kambosos. That's who you faced off against. I'm speaking the real truth right now. All jokes aside. All jokes aside. He brought his country with him. He brought his family with him. He brought his Greek heritage with him. And he brought these with him right here. He brought these with him. They weight draining me. Let me say that again. They, not me, they are weight draining me. These fighters sometimes, man. But you know what? What I say during my live stream about when I was going live during the fight is this. Teofimo has a particular problem that we've seen with a lot of young champions throughout the history of boxing. You win big fights early in your age. You, especially here, you got a lot of belts. You make a lot of money very young. And all of a sudden, maturity is an issue. Arrogance is an issue. And we saw that with Adrian Broner, right? We saw that with Mike Tyson. The list goes on and on and on. Making money at a young age without the correct system and support system around them. This dude thought that he was invincible and this is easy work. This dude coming over here, He's never fought a guy like me. I beat Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And you saw that was his mindset at the start of the round. I mean, I was commentating live, and as soon as the bell rang for the first round, he comes running across the ring and just throws a big-ass right hand. I'm like, damn, this is like Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler type shit. Right? And Kambosos did such a smart thing. He tied him up. He weathered the storm. And he had to take a few of those punches, and he did take them. And the more that Teofimo was landing these big shots, that he's used to knocking dudes down, and Kambosos was taking those shots, that's when you saw the shift. Nitty G in the building. What's good, bro? Good to see you in here, man. Thanks for dropping by. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Cursor, also in the building. I appreciate you. Arturo, I see you as well, man. So just to recap, for all the people that joined in the live stream a little bit late, I don't plan to go too long today. Let's get these likes we got to get them all the way up to 150. I don't know how the hell we almost get 300 people in here, and we don't even get half of that in likes. But just to recap in here, guys, the whole reason of this video was not to rub it into people's faces, those who were supporting Teofimo Lopez, nothing like that. This is boxing. I respect anybody who gets into that ring and puts their life on the line. Real talk. All jokes aside. But the whole point of this video is because this is the man telling Wilder, after he lost to Fury in the second fight, to stop making excuses and stop being a bitch. And all I'm asking is for people out there, if you're listening and you're upset about this loss, or you're shaking your head like, yeah, Teofimo Lopez, he was right, though, about Wilder. He had a right to say that. Okay, that's fine. Hey, that's your opinion. But I implore you, as a matter of fact, I will haunt your dreams until you set the correct standard, which is holding Teofimo Lopez to that same standard of hypocrisy. This man was making excuses, a profuse amount of excuses after this fight. And I don't even know what the hell he said during any other press post-fight interviews. I hadn't even searched that deep into it yet, but I'm sure he's ranting and raving all damn night about it. So if you're going to say, you're going to clap your hands for the comments that he made about Wilder, y'all need to keep that same damn energy about him making all these damn excuses. And to be honest with you, trying to take the shine away from Kambosos, a dude who smacked him straight up. Now, for anybody wondering, because not everybody was able to listen to my live commentary during the fight, there were some people that plugged in, in and out. We had like 400 people. It was lit. Tom, I see you, bro. Almost missed your super chat, man, but I found it. He says, Teo's dad is the issue. I'm glad you mentioned that. Tom. And I've been sidetracked. I got a lot of things in my head, but I'm gonna hit that right now. Shout out to Tom. Shout out for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. That's exactly the part that I forgot. I was talking about earlier about his arrogance, being young and rich and not being able to control his mouth. Doesn't have the right stability. He's got to take responsibility for what comes out of his mouth. when he says shit about Wilder, who's the heavyweight champion, who quite frankly is, who's been a champion, who has done what he's done in the sport, and for you to come out and call the heavyweight champion a bitch, it's fine, I guess, if that's how you feel, right? But you're going to be held responsible for what comes out of your mouth, and that includes what you said during the post-fight interview, talking about you were winning the fight 11-2. No, I didn't make a mistake. He said that. He said I was winning the fight 11-2. I ain't trying to clown the man. I guess I am trying to clown him because that's foolishness. And the only reason why he said 11-2 is because he's thinking, I got dropped in the first round, and so therefore he only gets one round. It was a 10-8 round, but he fucked up his math. So I'm going to hold him responsible as a man. He's a young man, but he's a man, for the things that come out of his mouth. But I'm not going to give him all the blame. His dad, real talk, is a big problem. His dad is a real problem. The whole press conference, right? Talking all that silliness, all that dumb shit. And I was telling you guys, right? I made a video about the weigh-in. I did some videos and gave my thoughts about the time that Teofimo and Devin Haney had their encounter. Y'all remember that, right? If you all tuned into that, I talked about that when they ran into each other. And I was talking about how his dad won't shut the hell up. So you have his dad there. Yave, thanks for getting that guy up out of here. There's always got to be at least one. There's always got to be at least one. You utter Wilder's name, and it's like somehow the algorithm inadvertently connects to the trolls, and they find their way. They find their way through the cracks of my defense. But we got him. But I was telling you guys that how much of a pet peeve it is of mine when dads act like that, because my dad was like that. My dad was always over my shoulder, yelling at people, trying to be louder than everyone. And so it just makes me cringe. That's a personal thing. But on some real talk, though, this guy, I'm talking about his dad, Teofimo Lopez Jr.'s dad, right? Senior. His mouth was spitting shit out that he couldn't cash, man. He couldn't cash in on it. And he was talking all kinds of crazy shit leading up to the fight. He was talking shit to Devin Haney, Devin Haney's dad. He's talking craziness to Kambosos' dad. And then on top of that, to make it even worse, truth in his word. Yes, sir, it is. An authentic samurai painting from Japan, actually. Thanks for dropping by, bro. And to make things worse, he's saying all kinds of crazy shit during the fight. Like mind-blowing shit. It's like, it's one thing where, like I said, you're talking all this craziness leading up to the fight, dogging everybody, screaming, hollering, as a 50-year-old plus man, acting a fool. Some people think it's entertaining, whatever. And it's like Angel Garcia, right? Angel Garcia clowning Keith Thurman. He's clowning Zab Judah. He's clowning Amir Khan. He's out there clowning everybody. And everybody's like, Angel's funny, da-da-da-da. And back in the day, 10 years ago, I used to make lots of videos about Angel Garcia, about how he annoys the shit out of me. And Lopez Sr. is no different, man. But that's one thing. That's a matter of taste. Some people like it. They find it entertaining. Some people like me, they cringe. But I think as boxing fans as a whole, we have to think is what kind of dumb shit what he was telling his son during the fight. His son would literally get punched in the face with looping right hands 10 to 12 times in a round. I busted up, leaking everywhere. Whole face swelled up. Talking about, oh, you won that round, son. Great job. Great job. And I'm like, yo, that's not good advice, bro. This is your son we're talking about. Right? Then, at one point in the fight, he was saying, when he was getting beat up, when he was getting strafed with looping right hands, and yo, check it out, Kambosos, he was tripling up with the left hand. Tripling up with the left hand. Double jab, left hook. Double jab, jab to the body. Double jab, hook to the body. And he was working the left hand too, but it was really that looping right hand that just kept coming over the top. And at one point, he comes to the corner and his dad says, man, stop playing with this man. You're tougher than him. You're stronger than him. You need to go to toe more. You need to beat him up. You got to try to knock him out. And I'm thinking, the dude just tried to knock him out for the past 3 rounds. He can't get him. He can't even hurt him. He can't even stumble him. And we're in round what? We're around like 7. And only thing you can say is you're stronger and go knock him out? That's it? Not, oh, hey, maybe you should use your jab a little bit more. Maybe a bit more patient. Maybe you should go to the body. Why aren't you going to the body, son? You already tried to knock his ass out. It ain't working. Okay? We're not doing so good right now. We might be behind. We got to make we got to make something a little bit different. Johnson A, I appreciate that super chat. Arturo drops in with the super chat. He says, God bless to you and your family. Happy holidays. And I'm glad we are not talking about cinnamon. We are not. I'm avoiding him like the plague at this moment. Arturo, man, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for that super chat. Michiyoko Nishioka from Osaka. Can you join? You are welcome to join. Welcome to join in the chat. Feel free to comment if you want. And thanks for coming. And konbanwa. Konbanwa. Genki desu ka? There you go. Got to welcome the Japanese people. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking in my head. Like I've heard some crazy things in my day when it comes from cornermen and coaches. But I mean, that's up there. That's up there with the top. This man said, stop playing with him. You're stronger than him. Go knock him out. Don't worry about your eye. Your eye out here leaking. You can take more of those shots. Those shots ain't nothing. Let's bust that eye up even more. Keep throwing those big right hands. So think about it in Teofimo Lopez's perspective. I'm not trying to make any excuses for the man as in regards to what he has said. Like I said, I am going to hold him responsible for everything that comes out of his mouth, right? He is a man. Accusing Wilder for the excuses and calling him a bitch, and then he makes excuses and all that. That's him. But let's put it in perspective as to why he has this thought process. It's because his dad, during the entire fight, is telling him that he's winning. His dad's telling him, you winning? You good. You got nothing to worry about. Just keep punching. You good. So after the fight, his dad's patching his eye up and stuffing Vaseline in his eye. And he's like, hey, son, don't worry. You won this fight. And because they have this bond, this father son, coach, fighter relationship, he believes him. He believes his dad. I was telling Stormy B Man behind the scenes a few days ago, when it comes to the whole dads thing, I'm not a huge fan of it personally. You want to coach your kids? I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion, and you guys can take it with a grain of salt. Everybody lives different lives and have different opinions about this particular topic. In my personal opinion, Teofimo Lopez's dad is a big problem for his career. A lot of this loss was because of his dad. Straight up, straight down, to the point, in my opinion. A lot of it. Not all of it. Teo has to go in there. He has got to fight. He's the fighter. He's got to make the adjustments. But I put some of this blame on his dad. His dad is partly to blame here. In my opinion of it is, you can coach your kids when they're young, right? You introduce them to sports, you take them to the practices and they go into games and all the way, even all the way through high school, it's fine. But once they graduate high school, you got to let your kids, doesn't matter, son or daughter, if they're an athlete, you got to go let them do their thing. And when I was a kid, going all the way through high school and all the various different sports that I played, my dad, because for most of my life, at least when I was probably about 10 to 12 years old, he couldn't work anymore. He messed up his back. He was a construction worker. So I grew up in a low middle class family. My dad didn't work. My stepmom was made enough to barely get food on the table and pay the bills. So my dad had nothing to do besides give me shit all day. I'm like 12 years old going to school, and my dad's treating me like I'm in the NFL. I shit you not. I had to have 3 water bottles in the fridge to be ready to take the football practice, and I had to do 100 sit-ups a day and do my push-ups, and if we didn't have a practice, I had to go run. My dad treated me like I was in the NFL. I am shitting you not. And I grew up with that, right? On one hand, it made me who I am today. I can never take that away from my dad, because what he instilled in me translated into me going into the military, and I already had that establishment. I did my time, I got out, and it set my path going forward. I can never take that part. Did my dad embarrass me when I was a kid? Absolutely. Did my dad get thrown out of games, get kicked off of football fields, have fights with other parents? Yep. Right? But I wouldn't be who I am today without that. With that being said, the best decision that I made when I was I got out of the military, I came back home, and I told my dad I'm going to pursue a career in sports. And my dad was like, "All right, well, I'm going to be by your side, and it's going to be like the old days and this and that." I said, "Nah, I'm good. I got this." It pissed my dad off. My dad didn't talk to me for like 2 years. 2 years. Pissed him off. I went out as a walk-on, made a professional team, won several different awards, and had a lot of success, which propelled me to what I do now. I run my own business. It took years for my dad to say, Oh wow, son, I now I see that you can do it by yourself. You don't need me. A lot of it is pride. A lot of it is pride. Can't let it go. And a lot of times, even with my dad was an athlete, blew his knee out in high school, can never play sports again. So he was basically living through me. And that shit happens all the time. Parents living through their kids. So on one end, it's like I'm thankful, but on one side, I'm also thankful that I separated myself from my dad. And I was around the age that Teofimo Lopez is right now. If you're going to do it, you got to do it now. And the crazy thing, too, about Floyd Mayweather Jr. is, as crazy as it sounds, his dad going to prison. It wasn't a good thing for Floyd Sr., but it was probably a good thing for Floyd Jr. because he hooked up with his uncle, and his uncle basically let him be who he wanted to be. And look what happened to Floyd. It wasn't until years later that Floyd was already established, one of the best fighters to ever do it, when he finally brought his dad back into his corner. So put that in perspective and think about that. I think that Teofimo's dad is a big problem in the progress of his career. And you can make the argument that for Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia too, the reason why Danny Garcia has lost some of his big fights because his dad all up in his grill. Loud boy in the building, bro. What's up, man? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. He says, you got to leave the nest. Exactly. And this isn't a situation where it's like, you know, you give the middle finger to your dad and all that. Nah. Family's family. It takes a man to raise his kids. I told my dad this. It took some time for him to swallow his damn ego. But once we finally did reconnect and he saw the success that I had, of course, he's kind of forced to, you know, recognize it. But I didn't become arrogant and be like, oh, I told you so and I could have done that. I never needed you. Nah. It takes a man to raise his kids. I may not agree with everything or every method that he used to raise me and my siblings, but he was there. He was there and he did his best. And you know, in his mind, he was thinking, this is what I got to do. And a lot of people don't have dads. Just real talk. So it's not about, you know, going, you know, like disrespecting your dad. It ain't about that. It's about being a man and saying, yo, like we had our run. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to focus on my career. You're always going to be my dad. Hopefully you can respect that. And, you know, we'll go back to the drawing board later after I've had 4 or 5 years under my belt. And I want to prove it to myself that I can do it. Stormy B-Man says, Richard Pryor once said, quote, pride heals faster than a broken ass. Rest in peace, Mr. Pryor. Wow. Yeah, that's a very good quote. Very good quote. Absolutely. So that's what it is, you know, and the next thing I want to quickly talk about is what is Lopez going to do next? I said in the video, I think it was, maybe it was during Firestorm, when I did Firestorm or the weigh-in video. I don't remember. It must have been Firestorm because my weigh-in video was only like 6 minutes long. So I think I said in Firestorm that if Teofimo Lopez loses this fight, if you thought that Devin Haney wasn't on the table, like before he lost, it's definitely off the table now. It's definitely off the table now. Now, Devin Haney, he's got a job to do too. Let's not get it twisted. And I think we got to get our minds out of this notion that because, you got a guy who's supposed to win and, underdog and the champion, whatever it may be, the favorite, this is boxing. And every single person that steps through those ropes is a live dog. So Devin Haney's got to go in there and he's got to handle his business next weekend. If Devin Haney wins, and Devin Haney, he's got the card deck now. He can pass out the cards the way he feels he's got to pass them out. If he feels like he still wants to tax that ass, as in Teofimo Lopez, and hunt him down and beat his ass too, then I guess that's his prerogative. Because like I said, he handles business this upcoming weekend. He has now earned that. Teofimo is in a very tough position. He's in a tough position because a lot of people, including himself, they don't think he can make 135 anymore. And he just lost a fight that a lot of people thought that he lost, quite, I want to say, like, convincingly, in a way where he got shut out. But it was the right decision. And he got dropped, and, his pride, his ego took a hit. So it's like, he can't make weight for 135, so there might not be a rematch against Kambosos. If Devin Haney looks good in his fight, he probably doesn't want to fight against him. And so then it's like, do I go up to 140 and say, 135, I was just too small for it. I was weight drained. So let me go to 140 and fight Josh Taylor, or what are you going to do at 140? I don't know. But if he goes to 140, then we're going to really see if he can carry this power that he's had at 135. We're going to see. So he's in a tough spot, and he's got to make a big decision. El Chubby says, yeah, low-key, Taylor looking at this fight like, where's the contract? Real talk. And y'all remember Teofimo out there talking about, I'm going to go unify the titles and the divisions, and I'm going to move up, and da-da-da-da-da. And Taylor's like, all right, let's see what you do against Kambosos. Oh, shit, okay. You just lost. So you still want that? So, look, man, I don't know where Teo's going to go from here. But one thing that he needs to do is man the hell up. He needs to man the hell up and say, you know what, man, the better man won, respect, and keep it all the way 100. And say, hey, I underestimated him. I did. I thought I can come in there. I thought my power would be enough. If he was weight drained and he felt like he was struggling because of the weight, you can't hold that against anybody. That shit happens in boxing, right? If you want to throw that in there, I guess you can. But that doesn't take away what Kambosos went in there and did. You can't take that shit away from him. If you want to blame the weight, blame the weight. That has nothing to do with Kambosos. Kambosos went in there and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Come at you and be ferocious Kambosos. That's what he said. So come out, give the man his flowers, and say, yo, this guy came out here. The weight was bothering me. That's why I didn't really prepare or plan to go the distance. I tried to jump on him early and knock him out, and it didn't go my way. That's it. That's it. And everybody will be like, hey, respect, man. Shit happens in boxing. So what are you going to do next? If you say the weight's bothering you, then I guess it's time to move up. So that's it. That's the way I look at it. But if you can't do that and you're going to sit up there and pout and cry and start making Instagram posts and memes and Twitters and tweets and shit talking about, oh, I got robbed, then I ain't got no time for you. All I'm going to do is make videos like this and continue to roast you. Like my man Alfred. My man Alfred came in here dropping like 5 super chats and doing nothing but roasting Teofimo Lopez, man. If you want to be on that dumb shit, that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to give you any accreditation. All the victories that you had against Lomachenko, I don't even care about none of that no more. You want to be on that dumb, childish, arrogant, baby shit, then all you're going to get from me, I don't know what the other dudes out here, because I'm still waiting for their videos. The same ones that were clapping their hands for Teofimo Lopez when he made the comment, oh, Wilder needs to stop being a bitch. I'm still waiting for those content creators to hold Teofimo Lopez to that same standard. I don't know if I'll get it. And I don't know how they're going to continue on with Teofimo acting and talking like this. But over here, all you're going to get is roast. Straight rotisserie. Roasted. I have a lot of patience. You know, I'm quite transparent. I can bend in a lot of different ways. I'm very objective. I allow people with different opinions. But one thing I can't tolerate is making a mockery out of the sport and sitting up there boo-hooing and crying because you thought the fight was going to be easy and your ass got smacked up in there. Period. Period. That's one thing I can't tolerate. Now, if you want to move up and the weight's bothering you, then so be it. But this is not something that I'm trying to hear right here. This is what I'm not trying to hear.
When you got George, when you got back, when you got
Next 2 rounds, no problem. Champion, he beat the great Vasily Lomachenko, but I'm the better.
in Australian boxing history.
Look at me. I'm the greatest fighter in Australian history, and that's no disrespect. I got all the belts. Hey, listen. Listen, true champ.
This is what I don't want to hear.
Hey, hell of a fighter, but I won tonight, man. And everybody know that. The referee raised my hand. I won tonight. I don't care what anybody says, yo. I won tonight. Hey, at the end of the day, I've been here. I've done that. I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. Look, I ain't no sore loser. I take my wins like I take my losses. At the end of
I'm no sore loser, but I'm a sore loser.
the day, man, I'm a true champion. I came out here, I did what I had to do, and I went out there and I did my best. Yo, I don't care what anybody says, man. I am as real as they come. And watch, this is the takeover, man. We don't stop. We keep coming. Yo, at the end of the day, man, I love you all. I won this fight.
Teofimo, you believe coming in.
He's so upset. He's so upset that he lost his fight.
Knocked down
It's hilarious.
in the first round. What was your mindset going back to the corner?
It's good.
But a lot of this shit is his dad too. His dad was telling him the whole damn fight, "Hey, you were winning. Don't worry about it." And like he truly believes he won because that's what he's been told in his corner the whole damn fight.
Shot. All right, time to wake up. Time to do the thing what I gotta do. After that, man, it is what it is. It's boxing. But you know what, man? I know what it is. I know how these people work. Referee knew I won tonight. Everybody knew I won tonight, and I'm just thankful.
Did you believe this was a close fight going into those last 2 rounds?
No, I don't. I don't believe it was a close fight at all. I believe that.
See, that's where I draw the line right there. Do you believe it was a close fight? No, I don't think it was close at all. Look at this guy's face. Do you think it was a close fight? I don't think it was a close fight at all. Look at this guy's face, man. Look at this shit. Look at this. This cut looks like the Grand Canyon. He's got the Grand Canyon on his face. This shit was leaking all across the ring. And guess what? This type of cut, number one, it wasn't a headbutt. And number two, this is an accumulation. This is an accumulation of punches. This is looping right hands that you were getting touched up with the entire fight. And this man just said, I don't think it was close at all. Look at this guy, man. Someone needs to talk to this guy, man. Someone needs to pull him off to the side This guy. Oh shit! And this is what he goes on to say. I won 11-2.
Down in the first round. What was your mindset going back to the corner?
It's good. Good shot. All right. Time to wake up. Time to do the thing what I got to do. After that, man, it is what it is. It's boxing. But you know what, man? I know what it is. I know how these people work. Referee knew I won tonight. Everybody knew I won tonight. And I'm just thankful.
Did you believe this?
And for everybody coming in a little bit late, the referee did hold up Teofimo's hand first. And the reason why that happened, it was a mistake. The reason why that happened is because the ring announcer said, and still undefeated. And the referee held up Teofimo's hand because I think he forgot that George Kambosos is also undefeated. And then after he said undefeated, he said, and knew, right? And that's when they knew who it was. And he was like, oh, shit, I just made a mistake. And then he rose Kambosos' hand. So that's what he's referring to here. The referee, held up my hand. So that was just a little extra fuel to the fire there that he already had coming from his corner, and his dad gassing him up, telling him that he won the fight. And then he got stuck in his feelings because the referee held up his hand and made a mistake. So it's just all falling apart for Teofimo Lopez, man.
It was a close fight going into those last 2 rounds.
No, I don't. I don't believe it was a close fight at all. I believe that at the end of it all, I scored 11-2. Well, 10-2.
You believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds?
Yes, I did.
George?
Listen, you got to move up, bro, because you're a bit delusional, brother. All right? Listen, I got the belts. I won the fight. I want to clean and clear. Look at your face. But you know what? I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the respect in the ring, and I won the fight. I got the belts. Take it like a champ. Move on. We do it again in Australia. 80,000 people, me and you, brother. What a war we'll have in Australia. Let's do it again.
Teofimo, does doing it again in Australia appeal?
And, like I said, George is so humble. I don't think I would be that humble personally. I'll tell him to get the hell out of my face before I hit you with another right hand. That's probably what I would tell him. I just don't have patience for that shit at all. At all. Like, you want to say like I said, anything about the weight or you had things going on, but don't come over here talking about you thought it was a close fight and that you won the fight and all this. I worked too damn hard, too damn long to come in here to take these belts home back to Australia. Don't pull that bullshit. I just can't. But, right there. Right there, guys. This is the same man that we just heard talk. Y'all see it. Y'all see it right there. This is the same man calling out Deontay Wilder. Not calling him out. I would say really disrespecting him. I mean, that's what it is, right? He's calling him a bitch. I mean, it's one thing to say, stop making excuses, or it's not a good look if you make excuses. This guy literally said, stop being a bitch right there in quotations. So what can I say other than, y'all ready for it again? Y'all ready for it? What can I say other than what goes around comes around? That's right. I'm jogging. That's right. What goes around comes around. Yep. Got a nice, healthy slice. And no, it wasn't from Thanksgiving. Humble pie. Bittersweet. I got to admit, it is bittersweet for me because I did predict, I did predict Teofimo to win this fight, man. But like I said, I got to eat crow. It is what it is. Shit. I was looking forward to being 6-1 when it comes to predictions. Since I came back in July, I got to be 5-2. I still got a winning record. It's all good. And you know what? I'm proud of Kambosos. I'm proud of him. I'm a little bit disappointed that I put any damn money on this fight because I was, got tired of losing fight against Canelo Plant, and I'm sure Arturo is probably laughing at that shit. And I lost a little bit of money, a Wilder Fury as well. So I'm just kind of like, man, maybe I need to take a little break. And, that's the thing about gambling, right? You ain't getting some good hands, and you're like, you just keep folding and folding and folding, and you cash out, come back to the table with a smaller buy-in, and then boom, you get a royal flush. Oh, well, too late. You already cashed in most of your money. And that's what it is sometimes. My boy back in the States, the same guy that betted for Plant, he put $1,000 on Plant, lost it. Then he went around and put $500 on this fight and basically won all that. He won all that money back that he lost against Plant Canelo. So, I was tempted to, though. I was very, very tempted to put money on this fight last minute. As a matter of fact, right before I went live, I tried to sneak one in, and they already closed off the bettings. Like maybe like an hour before, they didn't let me do it. So maybe that's a sign from the gods. Maybe they're trying to give me a sign. So it is what it is. But y'all, I just want to keep this article up here so y'all can see it. The same guy talking about it wasn't a close fight. I won 10-2, this, that, and the third. They're weight draining me, and the ref knows I won. The judges know I won. Basically saying that it was a robbery. All of those, everything that I just said right there were excuses. But yet, he want to call the heavyweight champ at that time. Well, he just lost his belts, but prior to that, he was a heavyweight champ. You want to call him a bitch. So I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy. That's all. That's all I wanted to do. And in reality, you lost a fight because you underestimated Kambosos. Simple as that. There's no need to beat around the bush about it. There's none of this, oh, I thought I won the fight. And there's no need for that. There's no need for that. You came in there, and you thought it was going to be an easy fight. You thought you were going to knock his ass out, and you underestimated Kambosos, man. Simple. And next thing you knew, you're in a 12-round fight. It's going in deep waters, and those power shots that you were hurting other dudes with, they weren't hurting Kambosos the same way. And to cap it off, you dropped him in the 10th round. You expended all little energy you had left to try to finish him, and you couldn't. Then Kambosos comes back, and he wins around 11 and 12. Kambosos earned that fight. Earned it. And I believe on my scorecards, I had it a draw after 10. After that knockdown, I had it a draw. That fight could have went either way. But Kambosos came out, and he ended the fight with a bang, with an exclamation point. And I gave him both 11 and 12. That's what sealed the deal for him. He wanted it more. Simple as that. Jim Diamond says, Teofimo Lopez. Y'all cracking me up, man. I know the memes are going to be coming crazy. Crazy. And you know what it is, man? You know why we do this? Because we had to endure all the memes and all the shit talking and everything that happened to Deontay Wilder, right? As Deontay Wilder fans, we had to endure that shit. We had our backs up against the wall, and we had to endure it. But that's why. That's exactly why karma's a bitch, man. Straight up. The man who's out there calling another man a bitch and stop making an excuse or excuses, you up there getting a nice slice of humble pie. And what do? Make excuses. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, seriously. Mr. Know-It-All Rats, man, I see you in the chat, man. Good to see you. Brandon S. He says, I bet on Kambosos because I love to gamble and how confident Kambosos was all week before the fight. Teo was too busy doing stuff outside the ring. Well, you called it, bro. Shit. Good decision making, Brandon. And you earned that money. You earned that shit, man. Good call. I still thought that Teo's power was still going to be a problem. And it was. You know, Kambosos didn't come out unscathed. The dude was bruised up and cut up as well. He got dropped in the 10th. Teo is still a problem, but push comes to shove. Guess who's doing the shoving? Kambosos did. Simple as that. I am Trill Will in the building. What's good, man? How you feeling about this fight? I'm gonna go ahead and give my boy a wrench. Let wrench him up. Wrench up this devil dog. Let the people know in the chat. I am Trill Will. How you thought? How you saw this fight? Who'd you pick to win the fight, etc., etc. But for real though, I was just gobsmacked. I thought maybe I'll come on here and just do a post fight, thoughts type video. But then when I see this shit, and then shout out to Boxing Ego, man. He dropped it. He said, "Yo, this guy's out here, or this guy was out there talking all kinds of crazy shit about Wilder, and now he's out there making all these excuses." So the hypocrisy, it's hypocrisy at its finest. And what is intertwined with that? Well, it's simple. These content creators that were beating their drum and tooting their horn and co-signing Teofimo Lopez for saying what he said against Wilder, they have yet to be heard from. Crickets. But when we make videos about Wilder and we want to point things out about Wilder, we're excuse makers, we're crazy, we're delusional, we don't know shit about boxing, on and on and on and on. But your man Teofimo Lopez, though, he can go out there, call people bitches, and talk about it wasn't a close fight, and he was robbed, and he was weight drained, and excuse. But y'all got nothing to say. Ain't got nothing to say. I'm sure Will says, I got a lot to say. I went with Kambosos because I ain't like the Tio Capo and his goofy ass daddy. What made me confident was how focused Kambosos was. Yeah. And I hope you won some money on that fight. Trill Will. I hope you won some money on that shit. Cursor, thank you for reminding the people to smash that like button. How we don't have 200 likes up in here, I'll never know. I'll never really know, even though I have my suspicions. But yeah, for those of you who did join my live commentary during the fight, man, I appreciate you. It was blowing up. We had over 400 people. It was crazy. And, this is what I really love. If I can come on here and just commentate on boxing all day, every day, that's what I would do. It's what I really love to do. Some people like to, keep receipts and call dudes out and make various different videos about this, that, and whatever. You got the Blue Bloods of the world and the Boxing Egos and all these other dudes, 78, whatever. But for me, man, I just love the sweet science. I love breaking it down, and I just love commentating and putting my energy into it. But you get these damn sour grapes, man. You get these guys that come in here talking about this dumb shit. And, they think we forget. They think that we forget about the things that people say. I mean, I personally don't keep receipts like that, but I'm subscribed and I follow people who are because I respect and appreciate that. These fighters think they can get away with these dumbass, goofy, arrogant tweets talking about, oh, Wilder's a bitch. Yeah, and if you're just joining and you don't believe what I'm saying, it didn't take me long to dig this up. It didn't take me long to dig this up right here on the screen. And for anybody wondering, as I was saying earlier, oh, well, Divine, why are you bringing this up, bro? Like, this has nothing to do with the fight. Excuse me? This is, like I said, hypocrisy at its finest. That's exactly what it is. And he's going to be held responsible for what comes out of his mouth. If y'all want to hold, let me say this crystal clear. Crystal clear. If y'all want to hold Deontay Wilder responsible for what comes out of his mouth, okay? Because remember, that was the drum that you were beating. That was the horn you were tooting. Is that you couldn't stand the things that Wilder was saying. You couldn't stand it. It's crazy. It's blasphemy. Right? But are you willing to hold that same standard? That's the real question. That's the real question. Are you going to hold the same standard for Teofimo Lopez and his dad? And I suspect that here in the next coming days, it's going to get even worse before it gets better. It's going to get even worse before it gets better. I feel like they're going to keep coming out, and I was robbed, and this and that, and I was weight drained, and blah, 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 blah. Do you really think, I mean, does Teofimo Lopez strike you as a person at 24 or 25, whatever the hell he is? He's already dug himself a hole of excuses. He got a big-ass shovel. He dug himself a big-ass hole. Do you really think he's going to come out and say, you know what, man, I was just upset about the fight, man. I didn't mean none of that. Congratulations to Cambusas. It was tough, I gave it my all, but he was a better fighter. Do you think that's what he's going to say? Does he strike you as that type of person? Or does he seem like a type of person that's going to talk about the weight and he won the fight and he was robbed and I can't believe this happened to me and boo-hooing, crying, etc., etc.? Y'all let me know what type of person you think he is and how this is going to go in the next week or so. Meanwhile, Devin Haney's got to fight this upcoming weekend, and if he wins in grand fashion and performs well and looks good, who has the last laugh? Remember all that shit you were talking when y'all met up? Y'all remember that? Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez met face-to-face, and Teofimo and his dad talking all that crazy shit. You ain't nothing. You ain't this. You ain't that. If Cambusas is going to piece your ass up like the way he did, what do you think Devin Haney's going to do to you? And let's not get it twisted. Cambusas didn't just come in there as a wild, come forward puncher, just trying to land something, and he got lucky. Cambusas was boxing, tripling up the left hand, right hand to the body, tying up when he needed to tie up, defend when he needed to defend, counter punching, fighting toe-to-toe, mixing it up. He did everything. And that's probably why he got dropped, is because he was, playing into the crowd a bit too much. But he did everything that you want a fighter to do. So it's not like Teofimo came in and he got caught with something big and, that happens in boxing, like a Lennox Lewis moment. Nah, this is not what happened. This was a 12-round fight. And Kambosos won fair and square. Not to mention, dropped his ass in the very first round. That was an amazing sight. Seeing that, my chair went flying. I almost dropped my damn mic. I was like, damn. Well, I mean, I was shocked, but he came out running in the first round. He come running, chasing after Kambosos. Like, he's trying to take his damn head off for, like, the first minute of the first round. Like, literally, for a minute nonstop, he was throwing haymakers and bombs at Kambosos. What does that tell me? That tells me that his game plan was to try to knock his ass out early. That's it. That's a poor game plan. That's disrespect to Kambosos. And that is his dad, who's supposed to be his head trainer, not giving the correct game plan and gassing his son up in this false bravado. That's what that tells me, coming out in the first round like that. Foolishness. Keith James, he says, salute at Divine Sense and the chat. I'm new, bro, but you're hitting on all 12 cylinders. Love it. I had Kambosos from the first press conference. I'm so ecstatic about T-Ho's loss, a bitch. Hey, Keith James, man, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, bro. I appreciate you, man. It's good to have you over here, a part of the family at Divine Sense Boxing. That's what we do. Ron Miller says, my only gripe with Wilder fans is when they say Wilder was robbed on the third fight and make long count allegations when it was Wilder who went to his own corner, which led to the count being paused. Ron, I have a lot to say about that. I've went live about the long count in the third fight, and I thoroughly broke down the rules of boxing. In regards to when a count is stopped and it's picked up and the timekeeper, all of it, right? I'm not going to get into that. Fury won the third fight. Congratulations to Fury, and I wish him nothing but the best. So, yeah, real six. Yeah, his dad's got to go for real. I was just talking about that earlier here in this live stream. If you just joined, you might have missed it. But, yeah, I was actually talking about that. It is telling me now that it's time for him to go. It's ran its course, him and his dad. And if he doesn't leave his dad soon, it might be too late. Floyd Mayweather Jr. made a great decision, I believe in his dad, working with Roger. And when I look at Angel Garcia, Danny Garcia, you can make the argument that his dad is some of the reason for losing some big fights. Not entirely. Teofimo losing this fight against Kambosos or Danny Garcia losing some big fights isn't all on their dad. They got to go in the ring and do it. They're the fighter. But psychologically, you understand me? Because boxing is like 70% mental. 70% mental. 30% physical. Who has the psychological edge? And Kambosos had the psychological edge in this fight. Don't get it twisted. Now, Lopez had the bravado. He had the energy, and he was gassing himself up. That's why I went out there foolishly trying to knock his ass out in the first couple of rounds. And then when he realized he couldn't do it, he's like, damn. And then he took his foot off the gas a little bit. But by that time, Kambosos had already proven how good and how tough he is. And that's where that psychological effect started to play. All that shit that was talked during the press conference, the leading up to the fight, all of that. Floyd let his dad work with Roger, and he perfected the psychological warfare. Look how much he got into Hatton's head. Look how much he got into Oscar De La Hoya's head. Right? So what I'm saying here is that when you have this gassed up bravado, it's only going to take you so far. It's like Danny Garcia knocking out who was it with that nasty left hook? I forget who it was now. It's slipping my mind, but he landed a nasty left hook and just put the guy to sleep. And from that moment on, it's very similar to Teofimo Lopez, man. From that moment forward, it's this gassed up bravado. It's just like, gassing him up. But it only takes you so far. You got to build mental fortitude within yourself. People in your corner hooting, hollering, and doing all this cheerleading shit, it only takes you so far. You got to get within yourself. Okay? That's what makes champions. Yeah, I think it was Amir Khan. Amir Khan popped in my head first, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was him. But yeah, just that nasty left hook that put him to sleep. Black Superman grabbing that YouTube membership, bro. I appreciate you. I don't know if you were before and just renewing or if you're a new member, man, but thank you. I appreciate the support, man. Means a lot. Chavo TV says, Divine, I did hear him say one time, to be fair, go to the body, the knockout will happen. But Kambosos was defending to the body well and was actually hitting Theo to the body bad. But see, that's the thing. Right? Is that on one hand, he says go to the body, and then he'll come in the next round and say some dumb shit like, oh, you're stronger than this. Why are you letting him punch you? You need to punch back. You hit harder than him. You're winning the fight, and don't worry about it. You're winning. And every time you come back after the round, after he clearly lost the round on everybody's scorecard, he's telling his son he's winning. Like, so two wrongs don't make a right. Or two rights, do two rights make a wrong? I mean, I don't know how you want to look at that, but for real though. But yeah, do two wrongs make a right? That's what it is. Do two wrongs make a right? Saying dumb shit multiple times, does it make it okay when he says something that makes any logical sense? No. You never tell your son that you can tell them, oh, I think you win a round. I guess, for me personally, right? I'm working in a corner, and I've worked in corners before. I don't use that type of vocabulary personally. Dwan Freeman, what's good, bro? Thanks for dropping by, man. I appreciate you. Jaron Davis, I'm not sure if I shouted you out earlier, but I see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Me personally, I don't use that type of vocabulary. I say to fighters, you did well. I'll say, you did well that round, but I need you to do this. As soon as you start saying, you won the round, don't worry about it, you're winning the fight, especially when you know that it's a pretty tough fight, there's no need to use that type of language. There's just no need. If they're losing, then it's like, that's when you say, hey, you're losing the fight. You better step it up. That's different. But for me to say language like you're winning that, you just won that round, you're winning the fight, they have to be dominating for me to use that type of language. That means straight up dominating, like beating their ass. And the only reason why the fight isn't over yet is because, the ref hasn't stopped it or some shit like that. Otherwise, I just don't use that type of language. I just say, hey, you did well there. Good round. You did this well, you did that well, but let's try this now. Let's make it a little bit better. That's just me personally. Different strokes for different folks. But when you start saying shit like you're winning around, don't worry. Well, guess what? He ain't going to worry then, is he? He ain't going to worry. Just cruising along. And you know what Teofimo was doing? A major part of the fight? Right hand cocked right here. Right hand cocked like this. And the whole time he's just waiting. He's just waiting to throw that right hand, and then he loads up and throws it. That's what he's doing. He's not putting any jabs to the body. He's not trying to left hook. He's not trying to slip and counter. He just got the right hand here, and he's just waiting to land it, waiting to land it. And he does a 1-2 or whatever it is, but he's just trying to land that right hand. And I kept pointing that out during the live commentary. I was commentating live during the fight. I said, he's just trying to land a big right hand. That's all he's trying to do. And why? Because he don't think he's losing the fight. If it goes 12, it goes 12. My dad's telling me I'm winning, so it's all good. Shit, if it goes 12, I'm going to win anyway. And in the meantime, if I land this big right hand, I'll end it. But other than that, I'm winning the fight. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. Chavo asked, Divine, have you thought about being a boxing? Are you saying like a boxing trainer? Yeah, it's crossed my mind, man. I have worked in corners. I have worked for 4 fighters as a strength and conditioning coach. Mostly MMA guys and Muay Thai guys. But yeah, I mean, that's what I do, strength and conditioning. As far as like being a full-time boxing trainer or coach, that I think as I start to get a bit older, and my career is going well, and as I start to settle down here in these next, I don't know, 5-10 years, I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it and taking some proper courses back in the States, be qualified to be a referee as well. I'm not sure if I want to be a referee yet or if I want to be a boxing trainer full time. And this is more of kind of like a pre-retirement plan, like in my mid to late 40s. It's kind of like a long-term plan. But yeah, I mean, I love the sport, and I've worked with children. I've coached a lot of different sports, and I feel like I'm a good mentor in general. You know what I mean? So I've definitely flirted with the idea and have considered it. But I also like being a referee, man. I've refereed fights before on amateur levels. I like to be in the action, but I also like to there's something about being a referee that I like. I've refereed basketball games too. I like refereeing basketball games, but it's really good, and that's why you see a lot of referees. A lot of them are, in their 30, 35 and up, because it's usually like it's kind of like a pre-retirement plan for some of them. It's what they do before they actually retire, and you do need a certain type of fortitude, though, man, to be a referee. That's damn sure. You got to have thick skin. You got to be able to take criticism. But yeah, kind of like a plan. Black Superman. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, man. Where I'm at now in Thailand, I can do it fairly easily. But if I were going back to the States and I wanted to start on the amateur level, start refereeing, for like Golden Gloves and move on to professional ranks and stuff like that, it takes time. These guys that get up there and referee at the world championship level, it takes time, man. It takes time. I mean, you're looking at a minimum of probably 10 years to get to that level. And these guys get those, they get a pretty good percentage of those big purses too. Those guys get paid, man. Those referees get paid. Don't get it twisted. But it takes you a while to get to that level. And And I just don't know if I want to dedicate that, going my mid 40s, going up to my late 40s. I'm not sure if I want to take that route. But a coach or a trainer, being in the boxing gym is also very, very appealing, for sure. Lil Ambo says, thanks for the expert and unbiased analysis. This is what boxing really needs. Stay safe and blessed. Well, thank you, sir. I'm not sure if you're new to the channel or not. If you are, subscribe. If you already subscribed, well, I appreciate you, and it's good to have you a part of the conversation. Travel says, I used to ref little kids soccer and flag football, and the parents be on my ass, laugh my ass off. You right about that. You definitely need thick skin. Oh, bro. Bro. Yeah, I've been a coach, obviously, for teams. I've coached up to like JV level in high school, and I've refed as well. I've refed soccer matches, basketball matches, and yeah, the parents get lit. The parents get lit. It's like you never, as a referee, man, you're never gonna please everyone. That's what you have to accept. You try to be as unbiased as you possibly can and as fair as you can. But you're just gonna piss someone off. You're just gonna piss someone off, man. And what's crazy is that when I used to ref soccer matches, right? Because I played professionally soccer and stuff, so it was an easy transition once I stopped playing, and I did it for a bit. But when I would referee boys like under 15 or whatever it is, I've done everything under 15, under 12, even under 9, the little small kids. But you get like under 15, and when it's boys, it's the moms that come out. The moms lose their shit when it's their son playing. But when girls play, I've refed girls soccer matches too. Same, under 16 or whatever it is. And then it's the dads. The dads be going crazy for their daughters. It's like a crazy thing, right? It's, but I don't know which one's worse. They both can be pretty bad, man. I've had moms. Moms don't yell at you as much like during the match, but they'll come at you after the match and talk shit. Like moms, they'll come to you after and be like, excuse me, sir, but I have an issue with that call that you made at this time, at that place, and when my daughter or my son was in that position, and oh my God, what were you thinking? This is atrocious. They do that type of shit. Dads, though, they be over on the sidelines screaming at you, calling you all kinds of names and whatever. But then after the fight, you know what I mean? You know how it is, man. Guys, like it'll be a lot of talk and shit, man. They be talking shit. But when the match is over, I'm looking. I'm like, yo, what's that dude that had that same energy? Does he have the same energy or not? I used to wait for guys to see if they'll come up to me in the parking lot. They hardly ever come up to me after the game. Hardly ever. Moms, though, they will. They will. Volts UK. He says, Divine, did you notice there was no post-fight press conference from Teo Cambosis unless they haven't released any footage yet? Yeah, I was wondering if they did it or not because I didn't see anything posted. So that tells me they probably didn't. I have no idea why. Maybe Lopez refused to do it, or maybe both of them had to go get checked out. It was a tough fight. I'm not sure. DP says, damn, fuck with you. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, man. I mean, I was younger then too, so I was in really good shape back then. I was in like my late 20s then. Yeah, they don't want none, man. they be out there talking crazy shit, and then they'll come over there and try to shake your hand. Hey, I understand that you're trying to referee. It's a tough job, man. Here, shake my hand. Hey, good job. I'm like, all right, man. I heard you over there talking all that shit, yelling, screaming at me. But yeah. Yeah, look, guys, fantastic live, man. My voice is starting to go a little bit. I can feel it. I went live for the fight for 2+ hours. Now this live back to back, man. I appreciate everyone dropping in today and tuning in to listen to Divine Sense Boxing, man. No matter what you got going on. I don't know if you guys are on your way to work, already been to work, or got work later, or you're chilling, getting your lunch ready, and you listen to Divine Sense. I'm very curious, man. I'm gonna make a poll on my community page because I'm very curious to know how you guys listen to me, man, because I like to formulate and structure my lives to try to accommodate. And so it's like, do you guys listen to me when you're driving to work, when you're chilling at home? I don't know, man. I don't know how people, because I personally, when I listen to, I don't listen to a lot of people. I tune into Drew. I tuned into Kano a little bit. For me, I have my desk here, my little man cave, and that's when I tune in. When I'm free and I'm not live or whatever, that's how I listen to people's live streams. But I'm just curious on how you guys listen. Like, you got the late night shift, you got an early morning shift, you're getting up, eating breakfast, getting up, you're having a late dinner, all that stuff, man. So I'm gonna leave a poll because I'm really curious to know on your tablet, on your phone, on your laptop. I have noticed, and I just learned this, by the way, that if you watch live streams on your laptop, it's easier to tag people in the chat. I've noticed that on my phone that I can't at people in the live chat. I've noticed that. So you got to do that shit on the laptop. So just curious, man. Just want to make a good product for you guys, man. And all of you guys that continue to be official members of the channel. I see Cursor in here, Loud Boy. We got was it Black Superman, who had to renew because YouTube be on those shenanigans. I appreciate you guys continuing to be an official member of the channel. Anyone else that is still a part of this live stream now that hasn't left yet, if you want to be an official member of the channel, like Cursor, like Loud Boy, like Black Superman, and several others that were in this live stream today, just click that join button. Once you become an official member, man, you get access to the custom emojis that I make. I have some more that I'm going to make. Obviously, I got to make a Cambosis custom emoji now. So you have that, and I also make videos that are exclusive to channel members only. All right, and I have some plans for that for all the members listening. I have some plans for the members, man. I'm going to give you guys some nice content for you guys and you guys only. So be on the lookout for that. Brian, son of God, man, nice show. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for dropping by. If you guys haven't hit that like button yet, make sure that you hit that like button on your way out. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Stay a part of the conversation. Brian, son of God, it says join. That's the icon that you have to click below this video. Yeah. Yeah, Jerome. Yeah, maybe it's iPhone and Android shit. I don't know, man, but it never works for me ever. It never works for me. Anytime I try to tag someone, it never works on my phone. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Also, I have another channel out here, by the way, if you guys don't know. Just real quickly, I almost forgot. I have another channel out here where I talk about more of the current events, more of, deep controversial topics. It's more of like a podcast. I have another channel out here. It's called the Divine Beast Podcast. And I'm going to be leaving some thoughts, by the way, about the conviction of the dudes that killed Ahmaud Arbery, And I'm also going to talk a little about Kyle Rittenhouse. I stray away from that here on Divine Sense Boxing because I try to keep it strictly boxing. It's tempting, though, sometimes to talk about these things, but that's where it's going to be. And yeah, I will drop the link to that new channel so you guys can tune in. And for those who are interested in those type of topics, you can go there, or you can just stay here. If that's all you want to do is listen about boxing, then this is where you can find it. I will drop the link here in the Anthony Ingram. What's good, bro? I'm going to drop the link here. I'm going to end the live stream, but the chat will still be open. And then I'll drop the link in the chat. All right. Y'all stay up, man. Be safe out there. Be strong. Catch you guys on the next one.